the Dodge Charger is a very polarizing vehicle. You either love the Charger for being one of the last full-size V8 sedans you can buy and actually afford, or you hate it because Dodge is synonymous for recycling parts through many different models. For example, the Chrysler LX platform, which is a slightly modified E-Class chassis, is still being used to this day under the name of the Chrysler LD platform, which is an LX platform with different suspension geometry. This car doesn't blow you away with gizmos, technology, or some multi-dynamic magnetic shocks that read the road a million times a second, but what it does do well is put a smile on your face in the most cheesiest way possible. Oh my God, this thing just likes to get sideways. Literally, Dodge gives you 500 horsepower and then slaps 245 section all-season tires on it just so you can blow them loose in third gear. It's laughable, but fun as hell. So what are the pros of the Charger 392? So first is the obvious, the 392 cubic inch, 6.4 liter V8. This engine was introduced in 2011 and made 470 all-natural gluten-free horsepower. All 392s equipped with automatics have MDS, which is Dodge's multi-displacement system. It's a fancy term for cylinder deactivation. From an economy standpoint, it's not great though. 50 mile per gallon city, 24 mile per gallon highway, and the tanks on these cars aren't huge, so you're gonna be pulling out your wallet very often and filling this thing up. So it's a rite of passage at this point. The 6.4 392 differs from the older 6.1 by having a slightly larger bore and a much larger stroke, upgraded wrist pins to withstand the added power and torque, oil squirters that shoot oil on the bottom side of the piston for added cooling, a forged steel crankshaft with increased rolling pressures that was added, compression ratio was bumped from 10.3 to 1 up to 10.9 to 1. Next, the ZF 8-speed is very responsive, intuitive, and rarely is it frustrating. Spinning. This can't be said for other cars that I've driven like the GM 8090s and the Camaro and the Corvette or the 10R80 and the Mustang GT. In my opinion, the ZF8 has the best calibration for street driving, while the others may be stronger transmissions in their own respect. Finally, which is surprising to me, the suspension tuning, even though architecture is shared with the E55 AMG of decades ago, it doesn't seem floaty or unpredictable. It's more, I would say, it's slow to react because of the weight, so it makes it much more predictable in the corners. Now to the downside, and there's a few. First, the weight of this car really hinders the performance of the 392 engine. For example, between the Camaro SS and the Mustang GT, Dodge has the highest naturally aspirated horsepower engine, but with that being said, it has a slower 0 to 60 and quarter mile time, which is solely because of the 4,400 pounds you're pushing around. I suspect that the older Mercedes chassis and traditional iron block V8 up front to be the culprit of the weight issue. Next is the interior design. You can be the biggest Mopar apologist, but even they don't excuse the interior for being pretty lackluster for the price. After seeing what manufacturers like Honda and Kia are doing in recent years, makes almost no excuse for the Charger interior design to be laid over since 2011. At least the newer Durango and Jeep Grand Cherokee interior design gives me hope that if they ever choose to redesign the Charger platform, it's going to look pretty good. From a comfortability standpoint, it's great. Even a sizable human being like me sits in the back pretty fine, but if the driver puts the seat all the way back near horizontal, it's not really gonna work. The real shining star here is Apple CarPlay, which allows me to avoid using the Uconnect built-in system. Uconnect isn't a bad system. Arguably, it's one of the better manufacturer infotainment systems. Audi and Porsche probably have some of the best ones, but Apple CarPlay and Android Auto is so intuitive and simple, I can just focus on not crashing this car.
Exit onto 5th Street and Seasmart Chavez Street.
Shit fucking pulls. God damn. So a question that may pop up as well is, between the Challenger and the Charger, which one would be the better option to buy as a 392 model? In my experience, by driving both of these for an extended period of time, I actually side with the Charger. Now there's a reason why. Number one, the Challenger looks very, very good. The body lines are solid, but at the end of the day, the aerodynamics do take a penalty for it to look like a 60s to 70s coupe. Now, the second thing is the weight. The Challenger is based on the Charger's LX platform, just a shortened version. So there's really no weight advantages of going to a coupe. So you have impracticality, less aerodynamics, less top speed. The performance suffers in an aspect on the higher end, and it just looks very, very good. So in my opinion, with I really don't care about looks as much as the functionality and how easy it is to live with. I rather side with the Charger. Now, that's not to say that the Challenger can't be the perfect vehicle for you, because remember, the Challenger on specific models had a manual transmission option. So in my opinion, simply put, the Charger is perfect for somebody that needs the practicality. Let's say you have a family and you want something that you can still enjoy in the weekends, just like a Cadillac CTS-V. But I believe the Challenger is somebody that specifically likes the Challenger for what it is, just an old school looking muscle car with still modern features. So it really doesn't need to be more than that. They're both very, 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 very similar cars. So it just needs to be that. I just enjoy both of them at the end of the day. I really gotta give me one of these, but regardless of that, the 392 engine needs to be appreciated. This is a type of thing that these engines are slowly going away. You heard Dodge by 2025, they're trying to cut all their big engines and do hybrids and do all electric. So regardless of brand loyalty, if you're a Dodge guy, Chevy guy, Ford guy, these cars need to be appreciated, because this is really like the crescendo, the last hurrah of large, naturally aspirated, powerful V8s. So, I mean, if you're a diehard Chevy guy like me, I'm a diehard GM guy, CTS-V, Corvettes, all that jazz. But these type of cars, I love. I have to appreciate them. Even though I'm not a big Dodge guy, I'm a big 392 fan. So.